Hello, my name is Diana O'Connor. For my midterm assignment, I decided I wanted to read from Claudia Rankine's Citizen book. It was hard for me to choose between the Rankine book or David Morin's Machete book because what I saw within those books is first of all, I liked the book itself, being able to read through different poems of some type of a lot of running themes within them. Sometimes there being a centralized theme, especially with La Machete, as well as Citizen going into modern day systematic racism happening right now. That's one of the reasons I really liked the works we have been reading, because a lot of times in other literature classes that I've taken, we've studied literature from way back that really has no relevance to today. And what I loved about Citizen is that even though I feel to some degree versed within this idea of the world that we actually live in with racism and discrimination, I was taken aback at some of the examples that Rankin gave that I had no idea. For example, the Serena and Venus Williams. When I've thought of them myself, I've always considered them to be top dogs. Like, there's no question. I had no idea what they had to go through and what they still go through or had gone through to get to where they were. So I chose Citizen because I felt like it was the book that had the most just eye-opening, and also being able to somewhat put yourself into the book by the way that it's written, and listening and hearing actual things that happen day to day. And that's why I chose chapter 4 of the Rankin book to read. So this is 4. It starts off, to live through the days, sometimes you moan like a deer. Sometimes you sigh. The world says, stop that. Another sigh. Another stop that. Moaning elicits laughter. Sighing upsets. Perhaps each sigh is drawn into existence to pull in, pull under, who knows. Truth be told, you could no more control these sighs than that which brings the sighs about. The sigh is a pathway to breath. It allows breathing. That's just self-preservation. No one fabricates that. You sit down, you sigh. You stand up, you sigh. The sighing is a warring exhale of an ache. You couldn't call it an illness. Still, it is not the iteration of a free being. What else to liken yourself to but an animal, the ruminant kind? You like to think memory goes as far back, though remembering was never recommended. Forget all that, the world says. The world's had a lot of practice. No one should adhere to the facts that contribute to narrative, the facts that create lives. To your mind, feelings are what create a person. Something unwilling, something wild, vandalizing, whatever the skull holds. These situations form a someone. The headaches begin then. Don't wear sunglasses in the house, the world says, though they soothe sight, soothe you. The headaches evaporates into a state of numbness, a cave of sighs. Over the years, you lose the melodrama of seeing yourself as a patient. The sighing ceases, the headaches remain. You hold your head in your hands, you sit still. Rarely do you lie down. You ask yourself, how can I help you? A glass of water? Sunglasses? The enteric-coated tablets live in your purse next to your license. The sole action is it to turn on tennis matches without a sound. Yes, and though watching tennis isn't a cure for feeling, it is a clean displacement of effort, will, and disappointment. The world is wrong. You cannot put the past behind you. It's buried in you. It's turned your flesh into its own cupboard. Not everything remembered is useful, but it all comes from the world to be stored in you. Who did what to whom on which day? Who said that? She said that? What? What did he just do? Did she really just say that to me? He said that? What did she do? Did I hear what I think I heard? Did that just come out of my mouth? His mouth? Your mouth? Do you remember when you sighed? Memory is a tough place. You were there. You were there. If this is not the truth, then it is also a lie. There are benefits to being without nostalgia. Certainly, nostalgia and being without nostalgia relieve the past. Sitting there are no memories to remember. Just the ball going back and forth, shored up by this internal net. The problem is not that you lack of memories. The problem is simply a lack before, during, and after. The chin of your cheek fit into the palm of your hand. Feeling better? The ball isn't being returned. Someone is approaching the umpire. Someone is upset now. You fumble around for the remote to cancel mute. The player says something, and the formerly professional umpire looks down from her high chair as if regarding an unreasonable child, a small animal. The commentator wonders if the player will be able to put this incident aside. No one can get behind the feeling that caused a pause in the match, not even the player trying to put her feelings behind her, dumping ball after ball into the net. Though you can retire with an injury, you can't walk away because you feel bad. Feel good, feel better, move forward, let it go, come on, come on, come on. In due time, the ball is going back and forth over the net. Now the sound can be turned back down. Your fingers cover your eyes, press them deep into their sockets. Too much commotion, too much for a head remembering to ache. Move on, let it go, come on. What I absolutely love about that poem is, first off, I love how Rankine compiled it as if one page has this much words in it and the next has another. It feels like while you're turning the page, you're also going with Rankine and what's going through her mind when it comes to microaggressions that she very much states within this book. I also liked the back and forth, like the cognitive dissonance within this poem, where she talks about, did they say that? Did I say that? Did they say that? Questioning our own memory of things, because as we know, trauma changes the brain, and sometimes our brain works against us in order to help us or to keep us moving forward. So I feel like this poem let me into Rankine and maybe other people who feel the same ways mind, but also I feel like I was able to validate it by reading it. And also reading the book in itself, you start to understand how racism is so embedded into every single thing that people do every day, and that you can't escape it. And that when people say, well, slavery was in the past, or the Trail of Tears, or whatever it may be, the Holocaust, people like to say, well, let's forget, let's move on, come on. But I like that Rankine addresses that, no, let's figure out why these are the way they are. Emotions, feelings, intergenerational trauma. I feel like she nailed it with this one. So that's why I chose it, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.